Hello, everybody, again from Simplyfoodea YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your great comments and your great feedback. Today, we're going to talk about a new criteria of the risk assessment, which is the 3D risk assessment. So, this is the new criteria of your risk assessment in the HACCP plan or whatever the risk assessment you need to have. So, let's go directly to our presentation and understand what are the 3D risk assessment, which is a universal framework for food safety risk assessment or other risk assessment criteria. The definition: it is a structured method and systematic approach that evaluates the hazards with three main dimensions: the severity, the probability, and finally the detection criteria or the detectability to be detected. So let's go to the scoring criteria. The scoring criteria will start with the severity. The severity will be scoring from 1 to 5, 1 the lowest score and 5 the catastrophic score. The example of the lowest score, which is the negligible, will be minor taste deviation. The moderate will be example short-term illness like diarrhea, and catastrophic will be like life-threatening incident like the infestation of listeria. So these are the severity, and you can also change it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the criteria you have. I'm just giving some examples. The second thing are the probability. The probability also are having three scores. The rare score, which is 1, example, the probability to occur once every 5 years. Number 3, occasional, which may be annually, and the most critical one, the frequent, which is maybe monthly basis. So we have finished the severity, the probability, and now the final thing, the detection. Scoring also from 1, 3, and 5. The detectability will be either easy, like automated metal detector, so we can detect the metals, moderate, like visual inspection, and finally, nearly impossible to be detected, like no monitoring in place unless there is a severe or there is a severe symptoms after meanwhile from food safety poisoning. So these are the three main criterias or pillars or dimensions in our 3D dimensions or 3D risk assessment. So, what are our risk metrics and thresholds? There is a very important topic or very important term called the RPN, which is the risk priority number. So, the risk priority number are the multiplication of severity by probability and detection. Okay, these are the criteria. If the RPN, which is the risk priority number, scoring is 1 from 1 to 10, so the risk level will be low. So the action required, you just need some kind of routine monitoring. If the score of the RPN will be from 11 to 20, so it will be moderate risk. So the control will be just preventive controls. All, as we have mentioned in our HACCP plan, the prerequisite programs. The final thing, if the multiplication of the severity by the probability by the detection will give you score from 21 to 125, so it is a very high risk. So it will be controlled by either the CCP or OPRP. And if you want to differentiate between either it will be CCP or OPRP, so you need to have the decision tree, or you can mention also that scoring from 21, for example, to 50, it will be OPRB, and from 51 to 125, it will be CCP. Whatever you need, but you need to have a clear criteria. So in this our example, it will be an a high risk because the multiplication 4 by 3, it will be 12, 12 by 2, it will be 24. So let's understand some case studies across different food sectors examples. Starting with the dairy production, for example, the hazard will be salmonella from the raw milk. The HACCP team agreed that the RPN will be 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 2, so the score will be 100, which is high risk, so the control will be pasteurization as an CCP. On the other side, in the canned manufacturing, the hazard are the Clostridium botulinum infestation. So the HACCP team also agreed that the RPN will be 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3, so the score will be 45, which is high risk. So the control will be retort sterilization or steam sterilization, which is also an CCP. And also in this case, you can have the decision tree according to the FSSC standards, so you can decide either if there is any other control in the risk, so it will be OPRB or CCP. The last example we are having today from the bakeries manufacturing, which is the allergen. So, for example, the HACCP team agreed that the RPN will be 45, so it's a high risk. So the control are dedicated production lines. Maybe it will be an OPRP in this case. So finally, each industry have its own situation, but you must train yourself on the 3D risk assessment criteria. Sorry. As a final conclusion, the effective risk assessment is the foundation of robust food safety systems, empowering teams to identify, prioritize, and control hazards before they become threats. Finally, thank you so much from my Simplyfoodea YouTube channel and waiting for your feedback. And if there is any comments, please don't hesitate to send any inquiries you need. And goodbye.